At my school reunion, my wife smiled at everyone and said, "Oh, this is just my husband." I didn't react. I didn't correct her. I just nodded and let her finish. Because what she didn't know was that everyone in that room knew exactly who I was. My name is Arjun Mehta, and for most of my life, I've stayed quiet. Not because I had nothing to say, but because I learned early that people only listen when they think you matter. My wife, Ria, she was the opposite, confident, loud, always the center of attention. We met 5 years ago. She loved the fact that I was calm, grounded, stable, she used to say. But over time, that word changed. From stable to boring. From calm to average. And slowly, respect turned into something else. Something quieter, something cold. I noticed it. Of course I did. The way she spoke to me in public. The way she introduced me to people. This is my husband. Never my name. Never who I was. Just a label. At first, I ignored it because I thought it didn't matter. But then came the invitations. First school reunion. Big event, old friends. Old stories. "Come with me," she said. I hesitated. Not because I didn't want to go, but because something inside me said this night would be different. The venue was elegant. Lights, music, people laughing, like no time had passed. And Ria fit right in. She walked in like she owned the room, and I followed quietly. People started coming up to her. "Hi, Ria." Long time, laughter, excitement. And then, someone asked the question, "So who's this?" She smiled, looked at me, and said it. "Oh, who's just my husband?" Just that word hit different. Not loudly, but clearly. I looked at her, trying to see if she realized what she said. She didn't, because to her, it was normal. I nodded, smiled, and said nothing. Because sometimes silence isn't weakness. It's timing. We moved inside. More people, more conversations. And the same pattern. This is my husband. Again and again. But something changed this time. Because now, people were reacting differently. Not to her, to me. They looked at me, paused, then smiled. Respectfully, one man even said, "Sir, it's an honor." Ria frowned because she didn't understand. Not yet. We sat down, and finally, she asked, "Why are they acting like that?" I looked at her. "Calm? You really don't know?" I asked. She shook her head, confused. And that's when it happened. The host walked on stage. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said, "we have a special guest tonight." The room went quiet. Ria leaned forward, curious, and then he said my name. Arjun Mehta. Silence. Because now, everything shifted. Founder of one of the fastest growing tech companies, and our proud alumna. Ria froze. Because for the first time, she realized something. The man she introduced as just her husband was the most important person in that room. People started clapping, standing, respect, real. I stood up slowly, walked to the stage, and for a moment, I looked at her, not with anger, not with pride, just clarity. I took the mic and said one simple line. "Thank you." I paused, then added, "And yes, I'm also her husband." The room reacted, not loudly, but knowingly, because now, everyone understood something she didn't. I stepped down, walked past her, and whispered, "Next time, use my name." That hit harder than anything, 'cause it wasn't anger. It was truth, and sometimes, that's enough. She called me just her husband. But that night, she finally learned who I really was.